The Prisoner by Leanne Little. Copyright 2008. It was supposed to be easy, Leon began. His unapproved visitor listened with barely contained anticipation. Just get in, get the stuff, and get out. The couple was supposed to be asleep, their dreams keeping them unaware of what was happening under their very noses. I couldn't tell you how they knew, but they did, and I got caught, red-faced and red-handed. Leon's guest gasped from the other side of the window, her voice sounding just a bit tinny through the screen they had to speak through. She shifted her position slightly, getting more comfortable and settling in for the long story. While she did, Leon could do nothing more than look out at the vast lawn and blue sky behind her, wishing that he, too, was able to go where he wished, when he wished, instead of being locked away indefinitely. I can't tell you what went wrong. I'm still not sure. I had been prepared. I had observed them for months. I knew their habits, their dreams, their secret fears. I knew everything about their lives. I knew perfectly well how easy it was to trick them, fool them into trusting me without question. One sad look and a few sweet words was all it took for them to turn into putty, willing to do anything I wanted. Anyway, the incident started after they went to bed for the night. They had something that I wanted, needed even, and I had to get it. I snuck through the house to the room where they stored it. Looking over my shoulder, I nudged the door open just enough for me to slip through. The box I was looking for was stashed far above my head. I needed a chair to get high enough to touch the wide, flat box. My head held the hinged lid open. One arm held me steady while the other reached into the darkness within. My fingers hooked onto my prize and pulled it roughly from the container. It scraped loudly on the lid before falling to the floor with a soft whack. I immediately followed. I landed silently, but I heard tentative steps coming down the hallway. I knew the layout of the house well. I had studied it, memorized every minute detail. There wasn't much time. "Oh my," the visitor cried. "Leon, it must have been terrifying. What did you do?" In a crouch, I scurried to the furthest corner of the room, behind a table. I prayed they wouldn't turn on the light. "Don't turn on the light. Don't turn on the light." I repeated it over and over again, right up until they pushed open the swinging door and entered the room. Finally, one last time, "Don't..." Before I could finish, the bright overhead lights nearly blinded me. My eyes were used to the darkness, only a vague glow had been shining in from the windows. When the switch was flicked, I changed my mantra to, "Don't see me." She nodded, understanding exactly what he meant, having been in his shoes many times before. The only difference between them was that she was much better at not getting caught, remaining under the radar. While they were to appear invisible a great deal of the time, the two of them knew that the only times they weren't invisible was when it was absolutely vital that they not be seen. Before Leon could continue, there were shuffling footsteps as his jailer wandered the halls. "Quick, get away from the window before they see you." His companion looked this way and that, trying to figure out which way was best. She darted to the right, completely out of view with just a few seconds to spare. Just before the guard passed the door to the room, Leon leapt onto the chair and sat down, doing his best to look innocent. He held his breath until the guard had long since passed through the area. After a couple of minutes, Leon went to the door and tried his best to see if the guard was indeed gone. Satisfied that he was, Leon returned to the window. "Psst," he hissed. "Are you still there?" She poked her head around the window frame. "Yeah, that was too close for comfort." Leon smirked. "Chicken. Want to hear the rest or not?" She smiled. "Absolutely." She rushed to get comfortable to hear the rest of the story before they did get caught. Leon watched her sadly. He couldn't stop the pangs of longing that he felt. He wanted so badly to be with her, to be outside. He pushed those feelings away and huffed impatiently. Okay, I'm ready, she snapped. Finally, he retorted. Where was I? Hiding behind the table when they turned on the lights, she blurted. He sent her a deathly glare through the screen. I was not hiding. I was being cautious. She rolled her eyes. Whatever. Get on with the story. Leon growled under his breath before continuing. So, I was crouched behind the table. I knew it was the husband by the sound of his feet on the floorboards. He always walks heavier than she does. I thought I would be able to outsmart him. I listened carefully to every step he took. When he began to get near the table, I crept around it in the opposite direction. I was so intent on listening to his footsteps and pacing my steps to his that I didn't notice that his wife was in the room too. The only reason I noticed her was that I ran right into her. Oh no, what happened? What did they do? Leon's chin lowered and his eyes darted away from hers. Her jaw dropped. Come on, you've strung me along this long, you have to tell it all. I can't, I'm too ashamed. Leon, she cooed soothingly. I promise I won't laugh or anything. I know what you're going through. He lifted his eyes to hers and saw only sincerity, which made his own tear up gratefully. Oh, Fluffy, they said, bad kitty. Pizza is for people, not cats. You're not going outside tomorrow.